Hey, how's it going? I'm Enrique, aka Sketch Monster. Today I'm going to go over some art advice that I think is going to help everyone, even if you're a beginner or intermediate or advanced, okay? There's two ways to draw, and I'm going to talk about them. Before you do that, I want you to say hi to me in the comment section, and let's hop right into the topic right now. Alrighty, let's jump into the subject matter, okay? Before you do that, don't forget to stay to the very end of the video. There's a little bit of a treat there for you. And before that, hit the subscribe, click the bell notification if you like learning how to draw art, discuss art, if you consider yourself an art nerd or want to jump into it. Absolutely. So, right here, I'm working on this sketch. This is a Shadow the Hedgehog sketch. I wanted to draw him a little bit more mean, a little weird, a little, you know, kind of angry and in my style. I love filling up sketchbooks. We've talked about it in the past. But while we're talking about that, let me talk to you a little bit about something that I notice, and I've heard this a few different times from different teachers, specifically Marshall Vandruff. He says this, and I heard about it from there. When you're practicing art and you're practicing drawing, this applies, by the way, if you're for a beginner or not. If you're practicing something, let me kind of go over something here. I draw all day for like work, and I'm exhausted. I'm super exhausted. I'm like, man, I'm tired, right? You know, like drawing 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day, and then I sit down, and then what do I do to relax? I draw again. Okay, I draw again as my relaxation. That makes no sense to a lot of people. Because then my sister will say stuff like, what are you doing? What is this? This is ridiculous. You're drawing again. That doesn't make any sense. So there's kind of the aspect of intuitive drawing. Basically, you're drawing from your intuition, which takes literally no practice. You don't really have to think too hard about it. You're more or less drawing from muscle memory, from things you did in the past, things you've practiced. And then there's like focused drawing where you're learning and you're having to think, right? So if I'm drawing something brand new, especially if it's like maybe like machinery and I have to look at reference, I have to really like study something, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work this out step by step. That's thinking, right? I'm thinking about it. Can be fun, but it's like I'm using the energy of my mind, and I think maybe you can relate, hopefully. And then there's just doodling around. Again, you're just using your intuition. You're doing stuff. Sometimes you get in the trap, and tell me if you relate, that I get caught in the trap of using too much of my intuition, and I get stuck on that mode. I just kind of like scribble, and I'm like, I can't do it because I'm not focused enough. When in reality, when you pull back and just focus and think about it, think it through, you'll just do a better drawing, right? Without practice, without anything like that. The only difference is that you're thinking about it. That's it. So one thing you can do, if you're just kind of scribbling around and you're trying to do stuff in this scribbly manner, which I've seen some people do, slow down, think about it, work it out first. Even though your drawing's going to take longer, it's possible it will turn out better in the end. And it's hard to do that because you get stuck on this like quick mode where you're just like quick. And I totally understand that the wanting to do that. You know, I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. It just feels better, and it feels like you're doing more drawing technically. You know, technically you are filling more sketchbook pages, but I would slow that down. And if you really want to draw more properly, chill. Let me give you another example. So one exercise I heard, and I don't remember where I got this exercise from, but I would encourage you to try this. If you're drawing something, whatever it is, try drawing it slow, right? Deliberate. And then try drawing it fast in that intuitive way, right? So like learn what you're going to do, right? If you're drawing a head, even if it's just a head, draw like a slow one, a deliberate one, you know, just kind of everything. And by the way, if you don't know how to draw the head, go check out the links in the description, the Skillshare video that I put on there. I have a Skillshare lesson. The main website, sketchingeasy.com, will have lessons on it soon. If you don't know how to do that, I teach you how to do everything from beginning to end. Everything. Like everything. so you can draw completely cool heads from your mind and more. But back to this. So draw something slowly, deliberately, construct it out, then draw quickly. And it's a cool exercise. Maybe set a timer for half an hour on one or an hour on one, and then go over here and set the timer for 10 minutes. And then try to do the same thing. And then you go back and forth. It's like you're using two parts of your brain almost. When you do that, you're going to get really good at stuff. Really good stuff. Because you can draw it not intuitively, but also you can draw it technically. And I know you've met people like this, because I've met people at art school too that cannot, they just can't draw quick. You know, everything is slow. Go into it with like a 20% opacity, meaning, you know, every brush stroke you put down, it's only gonna go down 20%. It is so slow, but you find out that your art starts coming out a lot better sometimes. So that was a guy that loved working slow, and that's how it is. And it's technically, you save the amount of time, where if you do it fast, you make mistakes and you just end up fixing your mistakes throughout the entire process. I learned this as well, going to different conventions and seeing how that works. Let's go back to this really fast. Going into the eyes right here, trying to make it a little bit more. I'm just pulling out all the detail. I went into it with pencil first because I wanted all my stuff down. So how do you use this, right? First thing you have to do is figure out what kind of artist you are, right? Are you the kind of artist that loves going through stuff really quick, just blasting through stuff? Or are you the other kind of artist that likes going too slow, maybe, arguably? Or maybe you go slow enough and you like it, but you want to try this other thing out. It might open up, you know, different pathways in your mind. I strongly recommend trying both of these, regardless of which one you are. One of my closest friends, you know, Blood Hal Fangsworth, really cool art. You can find him on Instagram. I'll try to link it if I remember. Really close friend of mine. He is one of the slowest artists I've ever seen in my life. He'll just be over there just kind of tracing, like not tracing, but just kind of, you know, pulling these lines that are really slow, ultra careful. He's got to speed up. But he could do something like that. And I've tried to force him, but he doesn't want to do it, so whatever. But I recommend it for you. So figure out what that is. If you know what kind of artist you are, by the way, please mention it in the description, because that's really going to help me out. I think it's going to help me understand who I'm talking to and kind of what the ways that you do. If you're so new that you don't even have a way to do it, I would say you probably do. I was pretty fast, even in the start. I was always kind of quick. you know, like I would say quickness tends to be for people who are more, I've noticed this is, and let me know if you think this is crazy. People that are like shy and more reserved and very careful people tend to be slow. They tend to be more careful. They don't want to make mistakes. And then people that are just kind of like, just go out there, they're really fast. One of my other close friends, Diana, great artist, she will just like blast through stuff. And then sometimes there'd be some errors, but at the same time, there's things that she does that I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know she could do that. Like she leapt, she jumped at this technique that she really, honestly didn't really know how to do it, but somehow she got there, right? And she might not be able to repeat it all the time, but she's pushing her limits constantly, and that's helping her grow as an artist in general. So there's that speed of implementation. I learned that in marketing. Speed of implementation, for anyone that doesn't know, is basically when you learn something, and it's that point in time from when you learn something to when you do it, right? And they say the shorter that time, you know, like from you learn something and you're trying it out a bunch, the shorter that time, the more successful of a person you are. This is in marketing. I would assume that this works in art as well, because I've seen that as well. The more you try it, the better you become. Like the quicker you do it. So don't. I was the opposite of that, actually, on that one. I would learn something and be like, okay, cool, I'll try it around eventually, and it'll take me like months, and then eventually I'll get to it. That's it. If you related to any of this, hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comment below. Like what I'll kind of open a dialogue with me. I'm going to be very, very active on here talking to people, so please tell me what you think. Otherwise, just say what's up to me on Instagram, on all the other stuff. I'm on TikTok now. I know. But that's pretty much it. Talk to you later. Oh, one thing. Here is the thing that I was talking about. Here's essentially the bonus. These are two designs right here that I pretty much kind of pulled out. And so, like, essentially right here, we're going to look at it. These are two Sonic... So, Sonic the Werehog, right at the end of it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to draw 3 designs just off the top of my head. The top one right there is literally just kind of like this messed up, I don't know, grotesque, really buff Hulk Werehog. Bottom on the left is kind of zombie-ish, aged, and on the right I'm thinking more of like an orc-like. Those are the 3 just kind of rando ones I threw in at the very end. I might do another one because, I mean, I was okay with the final design of the main one, but I would probably do more to kind of make it a little bit more monstrous. Thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned, Sketch Ninjas. I think I call everybody Sketch Ninjas because I call myself Sketch Monster online. But thank you so much. I'll see you later, and hopefully I see you in the next time, okay?